What's going on YouTube? It's Matt here, and I just want to show you guys something that I picked up like 2 or 3 months ago. It is now. I haven't posted a video in about 3 months, so, and I think I had this at the time I posted that video, so it's been a few months now. But this is my new project. Always wanted a Mark I Rabbit. I actually crashed my, see if I can get some decent lighting somewhere in here. I crashed my Mark IV GTI that you guys probably saw in other videos, or you probably didn't actually, because I don't know that any of you guys actually continually watched any of my videos. But that's got totaled, parted out, and actually I still have some of the parts. If you can see there, that is a 12 valve VR6 with no intake manifold because you have to take it off to pull the engine. And then right there, up on top of there, pardon the messy garage, there's a lot of junk in here that needs to get cleaned out at some point. But there's the shifter assembly and stuff, and the cables. If you put 2 and 2 together, you can see that this here is probably going to get pulled at some point, and that's getting dropped in here. If any of you guys are familiar with these cars, the kit to do that's like $2,000 from Eurowise, which is who I want to go with as of now for the kit. I might end up going something different later down the road, but for now that's what I want to do, so I'll have to save up for that. In the meantime, I want to start working on this thing, and basically I have it parked for winter because I have a Subaru Legacy wagon that I picked up for my shadow, screwing everything up here, that I picked up for 550 bucks. So I've been driving that around, and that thing's been treating me awesome. I've done a couple things here and there, but it really hasn't needed anything other than just little things. So I'm gonna keep driving that around. The plan is to possibly pull this engine relatively now. That's why I have it in the garage. It was out in the driveway, and I'm either gonna do the head gasket and obviously the stuff that you have to do with that, but I don't know if I want to get in the bottom end or not. So if I take the bottom end apart, the engine has to come out. If I just do the head gasket, then I can leave the engine in the car. And I'm trying to do this within a week or two because my parents' car is finally back at the house and that needs to go in the garage. So I can't, my time frame's kind of short, but this is also really easy to work on. And the timing belt, I don't know how well the GoPro is going to pick it up, but this timing belt has sketched me out since I bought the car. That's something that needs addressed. And to be honest, every part for this car is so cheap. Like the timing belt, 25 bucks. The head gasket, 25 bucks. Piston rings, $25. Literally, everything's like 25 bucks for this. So I figured it'd be a good car to just mess around with. And I mean, worst comes to worst, if for some reason I mess something up, I'm out like 100 bucks at most on a rebuild. So I could just buy a new engine, not a new one, but a used one for 100 bucks at most. And I don't even have to drive this car right now, but I do miss driving it, so I can't wait till all the salt's gone on these Pennsylvania roads and I can take it out again. Before I start the Rabbit build, I shouldn't even say build, but rebuild if anything, because at the least I'm probably going to do head gasket, timing belt, and maybe the intake valve, or I don't know why I keep saying that, but valve seals. Those, basically right now the car's got a ton of blow-by. I actually rigged up, move out of the light, I rigged up a little cheap $15 eBay catch can, and it's ridiculous how much blow-by this thing has. If it was a little bit, I'd just keep adding oil because I know this engine's coming out eventually anyway, and I mean it runs good other than the blow-by, so it's not even really a big deal. But I definitely want to get rid of the blow-by because I don't know how long it's going to be till I can buy that kit and put the VR in, and to do it right and everything, I don't want to rush it. So to get this thing running a little bit better so I can at least drive it around and not have to worry about buying oil for it all the time, I definitely want to see if I can at least address some of the issues that are causing the blow-by, because with the miles that are on this and everything, I'm sure it's probably a mixture of a head gasket, piston rings, and the valve seals. So if I can at least do the top end stuff, and at the least, that'll should help with some of the blow by. Then I won't be dumping so much oil in it. And I mean, like I said before, it's a cheap car to do stuff on, and it's easy to work on. It's an 84, so it doesn't have half the electrical bullshit that a new car has. And there's like some other stuff that needs addressed on this car too. I don't plan on ever getting rid of this car. You can see it got like a cheap Mac, I forget what they even call that. Damn, I'm having a brain fart today. But anyway, it has a cheap paint job on it. It looks good from like, it's a 10-footer or a 20-footer. Other than that door over there, there's little chips of paint here and there. It's got a rear strut brace, which is pretty cool. It came with that. I have all the black over fenders, I guess you would almost call them, that can go on here, but I kind of like the way it looks now. So for now, I'm just going to leave those off, but I do have them, so I could always put them on. It's on some 14-inch bottle cap Volkswagen wheels, which I really like the look of, but it would be cool to get some other wheels, some fancier wheels for it at some point too. And when it gets to VR, I definitely want to run some 15s at least with the VR, because that's a lot more power in this light car. This thing from factory only weighs 1,800 pounds. But enough about the car. I want to do a video on this thing like as it's like an actual good video where I go over like plans for it and stuff. So I don't want to get into that now, but I did want to show you this because I'm going to start doing some videos on that, the engine tear down or pull out or whatever it ends up being. I'm honestly not sure at this point. I don't know if you saw in the video before this, as in like previous clip, there is a compression tester here. I'm getting ready to compression test this thing. I just gotta figure out where the fuel pump relay is and stuff so I can disable fuel and spark, and then I'm gonna compression test this thing, go from there. I want to have an idea what it's looking like. I really would have to leak down test it to know for sure what the issue is, but the compression test will give me an idea, because if I know it's like side-by-side cylinders with low compression, that'd be a good indication that the head might be cracked or the head gasket might be bad in between those. But really I won't know until I pull it apart, since I don't have a leak down tester, and I don't really feel like borrowing one, to be honest. I just kind of want to rip it apart, unlike any other car. But before I start the Rabbit, I have this pressure washer here. This was my coworker's pressure washer. I was under the impression that it just needed a carb rebuild, and I'm not going to say I'm great at rebuilding carburetors, but I've never not been able to rebuild one other than the seized ones from my Sabre that I no longer have. I also sold my motorcycle. See, there's a lot of stuff that needs caught up on this channel because I haven't been posting, but not getting into that. I'm decent at like carburetor stuff, so I took this pressure washer here and brought it to my house, took it apart, and I don't know what's wrong with this thing, but like I rebuilt the carb. It was getting fuel to the carb, good fuel, clean fuel, everything was good. You could just pull this thing, it had spark, but for some reason it's not getting fuel in the cylinder, because I sprayed fuel down in the cylinder, pulled it, and it would go, it would fire once. But for some reason it's not feeding into the engine, and I don't know enough about these, because this is honestly the first pressure washer I've ever worked on, or like even small engine stuff like this. This was kind of the first thing I was like, hey, I know how to do that. Let me see if I can fix it for him. And he actually gave me that parts washer over there, which he got for like 20 bucks. It doesn't work. The pump's broken. I think it just needs a new switch. So that's something I need to work on. I want to refinish that. That's another project that I'll probably film. So as you guys can see, there's definitely some content that I have to create now. With it being winter and work and school and everything, I don't have a lot of time. It gets dark at like 5 o'clock, so I want to start making videos again, but it won't be too frequent, just because of the fact that I'm not working on stuff too frequently, because I'm always busy doing other stuff. But definitely going to be some videos coming up. First things first, just put that thing back together so I can give that back to him, because he's either going to get a new engine for it or have someone else fix it. But this thing's been here for like a month, and I feel bad. I mean, I haven't even saw the guy in like a month, because he works part-time at the job I work at, and we don't need him right now, so he hasn't been on. But I want to get that back together. Once that's back together, this thing's next. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. It was just a little update video. I don't even know if anyone's going to watch it, but I figured it would be good to at least do one before I just jump into random builds and not builds, random uploads and projects is what I meant to say. But this thing comes after the pressure washer, and then after this, me and my brother are going to be working on my parents' Corrado. Yeah, my parents have a 92 or 93 SLC Corrado. It's a VR6. So I don't know if those videos will be on my channel at all, but they'll definitely be on his. So I'll definitely be sure to link any of the videos on the Corrado. If they're not on my channel, I'll definitely link them so that if anyone's interested in that, they can check it out. But this is my little setup in here. Not too much space, but enough to work on this thing. So if you guys have any recommendations for things you'd like to see or anything, that's always appreciated. And that's it, guys. Catch you in the next one.